right, it is time for Super Bowl 59. We have predicted every single game this year here in 2024 and in 2025 in the NFL season, and we're down to the final game, the Super Bowl that, let's just be honest, nobody wanted, but we're stuck with it. Chiefs, Eagles. Why do I feel like this is the least hyped Super Bowl, least hyped up Super Bowl I think I've watched in my lifetime, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I mean, there's been Super Bowls that, like, nobody really cared about that much, but I feel like it's never been to this extent. I mean, I guess the only Super Bowl I can think of with less hype than this one, maybe last year? But even then, though, it's like, all right, like, the 49ers are trying to, they're trying to get their revenge against the Chiefs. At least people like the 49ers. I'll be honest with you guys, nobody really likes the Eagles, but Saquon makes them likable. I'm going to get this out the way before I get into the prediction. I am not an Eagles fan at all. This is a Bryce Harper jersey. I'm not a Philly sports fan in the slightest. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's no hype around this game. I don't know. I feel like all of the sports talk over the last week has been about the NBA, with obviously the Luka trade to the Lakers and whatnot, but I don't know. Here comes the Super Bowl on Sunday, and we're going to make one final prediction here for the 2024-2025 NFL season. And folks, before we get into the prediction, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more prediction-based videos here on the channel. Obviously, no more NFL until the fall of this year, but we also do daily NBA predictions along with daily college basketball best bets here on the channel with weekly UFC predictions as well. So make sure to go check out all of those videos here on the channel. Let's get into our Super Bowl prediction. It is a straight pick'em for the Super Bowl, and we are picking the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, yeah, I'm picking against the Chiefs here in the Super Bowl. Why? Saquon Barkley's why. I mean, that is the reason why we're picking Philadelphia in this game. For the Eagles to win, Saquon needs to run for at least 150 yards. At least 150. Now, Jalen Hurts played a better game in the NFC Championship game against the Washington Commanders. Now, that was a game that was never all that much in doubt, at least as soon as they got into the second half. I mean, Washington was hanging around in the first half, but obviously Philly, got the better of the Commanders in the second half. And Washington, don't get me wrong, is going to be a very good team. I mean, that's the worst the Commanders are going to be in the Jaden Daniels era, at least in the first, 8 years of it. So, I think Washington's on the right track, but, I mean, it felt like, all right, Philly, this is their year. They didn't have to play the Lions in the playoffs, obviously, with Detroit's loss to Washington. So now Philly's here in the spot against Kansas City. Jalen Hurts, he hasn't really needed to throw for big numbers just because that's how the Eagles play. I mean, yes, Hurts is going to kill you with his legs. He's going to kill you with the mobility, but it has been Saquon Barkley who's been leading this team. Obviously, he was 40 yards short of Eric Dickerson's record in the regular season, obviously, and he is going to likely break Terrell Davis's record for most rushing yards in both the regular season and a postseason in a single season. I think he needs 30. So Saquon's going to break that. But Barkley's going to have a huge night against Kansas City to win this game. And for the Chiefs, we can talk about the calls in that AFC Championship game. I mean, I think pretty clearly Josh Allen got the first down on the 4th and 1, and I think that is a game-changing call. If Buffalo gets that, I think the Bills ultimately win the football game, and I think then we get a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl, which I think a lot more people would be inclined to watch, if I'm being honest. But here come the Chiefs looking for the three-peat, the first time that it can be done in NFL history. Obviously, if they win this game, the Patriots won 3 of 4, obviously, in the early 2000s. The Chiefs are looking for 3 back-to-back-to-back. And they're more than capable of getting it done, obviously. But I do think that Philly's able to stop them defensively. The Eagles' defense is not that bad. Now, they have benefited from playing in Philadelphia in their playoff games, I'm going to be honest. I mean, Washington had a good first half against them, but it was the fumbles and it was the turnovers that the Eagles created in that game. I don't know if the Rams game was, again, the Eagles' defense, or it was just, the Rams are unaccustomed to playing in the cold and in the snow, obviously, with the Stafford fumbles. Kyren Williams has had a fumble problem towards the back end of the season, but Philadelphia was able to force so many turnovers in both of those games, and obviously they played a great game on defense in the wild card round against Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. But that's where I think the shift in this game compared to the Chiefs' 2 previous playoff games is. I think Philadelphia's defense is much better than Buffalo's, and I think it's better than Houston's as well. And obviously, again, KC, we expect them to turn up in the Super Bowl. We expect them to be better than what they have been throughout the entire course of the season, 100%. But Philadelphia's defense is really damn good. The front line, obviously, with their, second-year man, Jalen Carter. This is a good Eagles squad. The secondary, I mean, it will play, obviously. We're talking about Darius Slay. You've got, of course, Cooper DeJean. And you also have the rookie out of Toledo, obviously, in Quinyon Mitchell. It's a good defensive unit. It really is. It is a good defensive unit for Philadelphia. And I think, again, where the Eagles set themselves apart in this football game is going to be with the running game. Kansas City has not had to play a really good running team yet in the playoffs. I mean, they got Joe Mixon and the Texans, but the Texans, you know, they felt like they were just the odd one out in the postseason at that point in time. Let's just be honest. They took on a Chargers team in the wild card round where Justin Herbert played potentially the worst game of his career in Houston in the wild card round. And Kansas City, you know, against Joe Mixon and the Texans, it is what it is. That was, again, another just game. But even Mixon in that one went 18 carries for 88 yards. And the Buffalo game, James Cook goes 13 carries for 85 yards, and obviously Josh Allen was killing the Chiefs with his legs as well. So I think, again, when you compare the Texans and the Bills to what the Eagles have, what Philadelphia has with their offensive line, and who Saquon Barkley is being the best running back of the generation, I think that's where the Eagles start to take over this football game, because I don't know if Kansas City's going to have an answer to that run game. And on top of that, any fourth and short, you know what's coming. It's the tush push, and you know Jalen Hurts is going to go out there and get those yards. And their pass game, too, I mean, you can't deny they have A.J. Brown. They've got Devontae Smith. It sometimes feels like Brown and Smith are an afterthought because of how successful the run game is. But hell, A.J. Brown, 96 yards in the NFC Championship game. And the Eagles obviously are looking for revenge from 2022, where obviously the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. But the difference between that game and this game is that Saquon Barkley's on the Eagles now. And sure, that year for Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, I think, had a much better season. And I think that's pretty undeniable that Hurts had a way better year in 22 than he did now in 2024. But it doesn't really matter because, again, Barkley's on the team. I get the offensive line got a little bit worse, obviously, with Jason Kelce's retirement. But Barkley's been just fine this season running behind that O-line. He's been the best running back in football. For Kansas City, again, we'll see what their offense is because it's been a struggle all year long. There's no denying that. Mahomes has just been a mediocre quarterback this season. But, of course, they were better in the AFC Championship game. They were extremely mediocre in the divisional round where they just got by the Houston Texans. Again, a team that just, it didn't really feel like they should have been there, but, you know, they got by. They got by Los Angeles to get into that spot. I'm not sold on the Chiefs still. I'm not. Guys, they should have lost that Bills game. They got a lot of favorable calls in that game, and the obvious one being the 4th and 1 tush push of Josh Allen. Allen got the first down. You know who got the first down the play before? I think it was one of the tight ends. It was either Kincaid or Knox. I think it was Kincaid. He got the first down on 3rd down. I don't know, man. Again, the NFL, and you know what's crazy? When the NFL and Roger Goodell put out in their own statement that, oh, it's ridiculous if anybody thinks that we're favoring the Chiefs. Well, you know it's an issue when you actually have to mention that. You actually have to bring that up. It's just, I don't know, man. People are seeing through it. I think, again, the NFL got what they wanted. They wanted a Chiefs Super Bowl regardless of who they were playing. And now, again, I don't know if they're going to get some calls, but I've envisioned a scenario where the Eagles are up by 2 at the end of the football game. 2 minutes left. They need a first down to win the game. Say it's like 2nd and 8, 3rd and 8. Barkley rips off a long run, 80-yard touchdown, game over, Eagles are the Super Bowl champion, and then it gets called back because of a bogus holding call. I'm just saying, I feel like Philadelphia is going to be held to a different standard in this football game, and I think there are going to be a lot of holding calls on some big Saquon Barkley runs. I'm just throwing it out there. I think it's going to happen. You have to with the Chiefs, just because, again, it's not like we're just making this up because, oh, look, the Chiefs are so great. No, it is a proven thing. The Chiefs do get the benefit of the doubt on a lot of calls. I'm not hating. I'm just pointing out the facts. If that Josh Allen call got called against any other team, we'd be talking about the same exact thing, okay? Again, that was one of the worst game-changing calls I've ever seen, and obviously it changed that football game. If Josh Allen gets the first down, the Bills are in the spot against the Eagles. But it is what it is. Here we are. The NFL, again, gets what they wanted, but I do think Philadelphia wins. Again, I have to assume Travis Kelce's going to have a big game. He had a big game against the Texans, didn't really do anything in the AFC Championship game against the Buffalo Bills, but you have to assume that Kelce's going to rise to the occasion. Again, he is an all-time great. Is he the greatest tight end ever? No. But Kelsey is up there, obviously, and Kelsey will always have an impact on the game. KC can't really run the ball that effectively, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it against the Eagles. I mean, they've been going more Kareem Hunt than Pacheco. I don't know how healthy Pacheco is still. Obviously, he came back towards the middle of the season, obviously, or towards the end of the season. Kareem Hunt obviously took over. They signed him midway through the year. I think it will still be a Kareem Hunt heavy approach in terms of running the football. But I don't know, man. KC's still not impressive to me. They're not. They looked better in the Bills game, I'm not going to lie, but now you take on an even better defense. You don't get the game at Arrowhead anymore. You got to play the Eagles, obviously, at this neutral site in New Orleans. I don't think that really benefits the Chiefs. Again, I think, yes, they're a really good home team. They know how to win an Arrowhead. They know their crowd's going to be loud. Let's see him on a neutral site. I think the Eagles might be able to get him here. I think they are going to be able to get him. So we look at the odds again. You can take the spread, but I mean, I wouldn't. I just picked the money line, obviously, with the odds being so close. It's dead even. -110 for Philadelphia, -110 for Kansas City. We are siding with the Philadelphia Eagles to win Super Bowl 59 to prevent the three-peat against the Kansas City Chiefs. They will get it done and hopefully save us from the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, Travis Kelce retiring, and then getting on a knee to propose to Taylor Swift. Because I'm telling you, if the Chiefs win, that's what's going to happen, and it's going to suck. It just will. Good for bro, but I don't want to see it. I don't. We're sick of Kansas City. And again, I wasn't really sick of them prior to this year. But I mean, every game it's something with the Chiefs. It just is. The pass interference call on 4th and 15 against the Bengals. Oh, the lack of a pass interference call against the Falcons on Sunday Night Football. I mean, it's something every week. The illegal formation that gets called off against the Raiders in Kansas City. It's always something. It's always something about the Chiefs. We're sick of it. And the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and that loaded defense will put an end to this nonsense. And ultimately, again, I think the difference maker is the Philadelphia Eagles defense. It's that secondary, and it's that front line. I don't think KC's going to have much time to throw the football. Again, Patrick Mahomes, I don't think is going to have much time to throw the football. And I really like the defensive backs for the Eagles. Obviously, we're talking about the young guys, DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, and obviously you get the veteran in Darius Slay in there as well. So with all that being said, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to win Super Bowl 59, the second in franchise history. In terms of all-time significance, Jalen Hurts does cement himself as a Philadelphia legend, and now again, going to 2 Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts looks like he is now on the way to Canton if he does win this football game. I would assume as long as Jalen Hurts sticks around in the NFL, Jalen Hurts will be a Hall of Famer someday. So, we're taking the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Folks, thank y'all for watching our Super Bowl prediction. I want to thank you guys for watching every single week here on the channel with our NFL picks. We'll be back, obviously, next year come September, with the Sunday after Labor Day. It always is. We'll see you for that, obviously, for the 2025-2026 NFL season. For now, folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to join us for our other predictions here on the channel, or best bets, obviously, with the NBA, with college basketball. We will have daily MLB best bets once opening day starts in March for the MLB season, so make sure to join us for that. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.